If I was a rich man, suddenly I was a rich man. I won a huge prize for the rule of law. What to do with the money? I felt fantastic. We can tell the story of the making of the South African Constitution. I've been so heavily involved right through my life, fighting for the Constitution, in and out of jail, blown up, in exile, helping to write the Constitution, on the Constitutional Court afterwards. We must tell the story of the nation, how we became a nation through getting a Constitution.
This project is a living project. It's a project that speaks to the notion of we the people. And we the people are not just given the responsibility of building democracy and building a nation, but I think in this instance, for me, we the people has the responsibility to add their voices to the story.
Our Constitution is so important in South Africa. In a sense, those of us in exile were dreaming of a new South Africa, and we had a constitutional vision in search of a country because we didn't have a country.
A lot of people who have a first-hand experience of the story are dying. And I interviewed Ben Chirok, and a couple of months later, he passed away. So there was that sense of urgency that we need to capture this history before people take it with them.
Coming together after democratic elections, creating our Constitution did more than just give us structures for government control rights of the people. It gave us the foundations for creating a nation. The fact that we could do it, that we put down our spears, that we could use language, thoughts, ideas to find a way of living together in one country in dignity, and in particular to have a voice, the pumping voice of history, the narration, the tongue, the heartbeat, the pulse, the feel of the people who fought the hardest for our Constitution, who suffered the most, and who were the most ignored and marginalized.
People who would stop at nothing at realizing, the purpose of the Constitutional Assembly and not wanting to let the country down.
What about the women in the struggle?
Many of these women had never ever told their families what they had endured in the cells of the women's jail at Constitution Hill.
I really hope that people fall in love with some of these storytellers like I have. Your Louisa Zondo, your Leonora D'Souza, Hassan Ibrahim, people that were not really the rock stars of the process. They were not like Nelson Mandela or Thabo Mbeki or, the well-known politicians, but people who were like in the trenches.
One of the challenges when you put together a story of this magnitude is how you're going to tell the story. And I think we have a multi-format way of telling the story. So we have told the story through the use of animation. We have told the story through video and photographs. We've told the story through narratives and the perspectives of storytellers. So what we've tried to do is to appeal to the range of ways that people learn.
We're trying to tell a global story, and the best way to reach the world is through, an online platform. So an online museum just made a lot of sense.
We're working with a young illustrator, Paula Manelli, and we've embedded him in the history. But then what he went away and did was he used his mother as a model for the narrator and the animations. And he sent us back these incredible photos of her sitting in different positions, in different historical moments that he captured and then he drew. So when you see the narrator on the screen, I don't just see the narrator as a drawn person. I see the process of Paula and his mother. And it actually moves me nearly to tears to think of how history can be made and told with such heart and soul. We've had illustrators drawing the Bill of Rights. We sat around a table with them and discussed what each right meant. What is the right to life? And then how do you illustrate that? That took hours and hours of discussion, of contemplation, of looking at certain icons, of saying that doesn't capture the spirit. Maybe try this. And then you come out with this magnificent illustration of the right to life, and something new has been born.
Through this project, if people can have a different sense of archives as personal and not institutional, because they allow you to trace a journey, and also they show you the facts of that journey and the reality of that journey at that time, rather than writing something now while looking back. That is something that was frozen in time. kept for you today, which makes you sort of look back on history with some kind of perspective and sense.
After we brought a group of students, politics students from Wits University who had never visited the archive. And for me, it was like there was an archival alchemy in the room, because these students came in with one sense of the story of the negotiations, and through digging through the boxes, rattling through the papers, understanding the issues that emerged in these documents, they were completely transformed in how they viewed the Constitution and what it means to them.
I don't know if I'm an historian's dream or historian's nightmare, but key papers, I don't throw them away, and I don't sort them out at all. Higgledy-piggledy, lying in suitcases, paper bags, brought them back with me from exile. Stuff that we'd written, working closely with Oliver Tambo in exile, early drafts of what became finally our Constitution. For me, such precious documents, mostly documents of our working that we did in Lusaka, anxious all the time in case commandos came to blow us up. Very dramatic, very interesting, and very central to what became the Constitution of South Africa. And now, lo and behold, at last, they're being digitized. All of this, it's another discovery, another planet, another universe. But the papers are now speeding along or going along in that new universe, and I'm absolutely thrilled.
Thank you on behalf of the Constitution Hill Trust to each and every one of you who assisted with the making of this online exhibition and curated archive. From its conception to its creation and now its presentation, we thank the contributors, the collaborators, and the very many creatives who brought the best of their talents to bear. You have helped us to realize a dream, to make our Constitution come alive and be meaningful to everybody, for now and for the future. Thank you.